Good evening, everybody. To those who are watching us across the world, today I'm so privileged to have Tanya Chinherera, a Zimbabwean who is living in diaspora. She is prominent, she is pronounced, she has traveled across lives, she has traveled and experienced a lot of things across the world. Tanya, here's an opportunity to meet the world. I welcome you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Tanya, I've been reading about you, how you developed in a satellite town, Marondera, which is outside Harare in Zimbabwe there.
Yeah.
And I was feeling so fascinated. I felt great when I saw your experiences. I read things which you have experienced and what you're experiencing even now. Your growth and development has fascinated and motivated many. Can you just take me through your experiences, especially starting from Zimbabwe?
All right. Well, back then it wasn't like this. It was totally different. You know, I grew up with my grandmother. My mom is in UK. I was one of those kids who were privileged enough to have parents travel outside the country to fend for their children. So my mom was one of those parents. And I lost my father at a very tender age of 2. And you know, when you're growing up without parents, there's always a lacking, you know. So that on its own made me have a very low self-esteem. I wasn't this confident at all. I was zero, completely zero. Yeah. Even to say out my name in front of people, it would be a struggle to me, you know. So I was in primary. I was at Godfrey Hagen's primary school. And then I tried joining clubs as well, like Girl Child Network. So because part of me had a thing about helping people, you know. So I wasn't really spoken. I wasn't really confident or one of those people who would speak in front of people, but I was just joining in and learning how, you know, things go about when it comes to helping other people. And then coming to high school now, high school I did at Love High School.
Let me pause you for a second.
Yeah.
You talked about you growing up with your grandmother and your mother being away in the UK.
Yes.
I want to know the feeling, the experience, such an experience.
To be honest, it's I'm grateful to my grandma for trying her best. You know, she always wanted to cover the gaps, but the gaps can never be covered. A mother is a mother and a father is a father, you know.
I get you.
It has been difficult, to be honest, because you can never really confide, like you can never really find your place of belonging. You understand? When you are an extended member in a family, you understand? So even if she could try to create that environment, but it's an intrinsic feeling. So it's not easy to just go out there and say, yes, I belong. Yes, I have all these privileges. Yes, I'm a child in this house. You know, it's not easy because this is not your mom or your father's house. You know, it's your grandmother's house. But she really tried, though. She really tried. I can give you that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very sure that you are very grateful of your grandmother.
I am, yeah. Yeah.
Hello, Tanya.
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yes.
Oh, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Thank you. I was saying that I'm sure that you are very grateful of your parents, especially your grandmother.
Oh yeah, I am. She's a very strong woman, you know. And the thing about it now is I lost my grandfather at the age of I think I was in grade 2. So it was now the two of us, me and my grandmother. So it was just two women trying to figure out this thing of loss and trying to build each other as well, you know. So yeah.
I get what you are saying.
Yeah.
Now that you are growing up in Marondera,
Yeah.
did you manage to see sort of opportunities or chances, which I can say that at a later stage you then utilized?
Yes, I did. I did actually. When I was in primary, I joined Girl Child Network, but it wasn't that I knew what I was doing. I just wanted to learn how things go when you're in a club. So I from there, I started enjoying it. I started enjoying being around girls. I started enjoying
Yeah,
other people's sets. Funny enough, I learning that there are other people in worse situations like you, or who have lost as well. It kind of helped me understand even myself, to say it's okay to lose because other people actually lose their parents as well.
exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
so I was now finding a place of belonging, maybe if I can say so, and I was enjoying being part of it. So that I kept that passion. I didn't lose it. So I kept that passion, and
Uh,
yeah.
Actually, Tanya, let me just give a pause. I really like the point which you raise that
Mhm,
we as human beings, sometimes we can find ourselves in tough situations,
mhm.
which we can sometimes say they are wicked troubles. And
Yes,
by finding a kind of people like yourself,
yes,
or
yes.
realizing that there is a kind of people who exist out there, you find
Mhm.
comfort.
True, true. You actually do, because when you're confided in your own space,
I
you're just
concur.
alone. You're just alone with your thoughts. You understand, and you never know which is the right thought that you're having or a wrong thought you are going. It's all alone. But when
Exactly.
you're in an environment where you're talking to other people as well, and hearing what they think as well, it's okay to talk. That's when I started to talk, actually. Yeah.
I understand what you think. And now you're growing up, as you said. Which positions later did you manage to get in
Well,
Marondia?
in Miranda now, when it came to high school, I my O level results were okay. From Form 1 to Form 4, I was always an average student. But
All right.
yeah, it was average and below average a bit, you know. So
I get you.
yeah, when coming to O level now, I don't know, I just put all my energy into studying, and then I had very good results. I was the top in my class. Okay, it was 5 A's and 4 B's. Yes.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
excellent.
So I was the top in my class, and I was surprised. And the people who really knew Tanya were really shocked to say, is this the Tanya that we know? Yeah,
Usually, usually I heard Elon Musk saying that the least, likely possibility usually happens.
it
What
is.
people least likely expect, that's the very thing which happens.
Yeah.
So any position which you get sort of getting into, junior parliament or these
Yes.
positions.
Yes. Yeah, because I had good results, I started to feel that good things can actually come out of me. Like I can really do it. So I joined Marundra Junior Council. I was the ambassador of the Marundra Junior Council, and I was also a hostel prefect. Yeah, and it's just started going up in there. And when I even finished my A levels, I started to study for a diploma in personal and professional leadership at LASOF in Harare. So I moved to Harare now, and I was actually working there and studying there at LASOF. I was in charge of the administration. Yes.
Tanya, I like that experience. I can relate that, having an experience of moving from the outskirts of the city, such
Uh-huh.
a satellite city like Marundi, and then you have the capacity to get into the bright
Mhm.
lights, into Harare. Can you kindly, narrate to me how it happened and the feeling when you arrived there?
It was crazy. It was really crazy because I used to travel a lot with a group of people, just to when you're crossing the road, you just cross with everybody. You don't want to cross alone. And it was crazy, but I learned because there was no one to teach me how to be wise in the city. You just have
Exactly.
to, you just
You
have
have
to
to catch up. You have
yeah,
to
you
catch
just
up.
catch up. You catch up there, but because I spent a year studying and working there. I actually became so smart, and I was not even walking in spaces, in places
Exactly.
alone, and just try to figure out this place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Tanya, that's really brilliant. Talk to me about your spiritual life, your values, your belief system, as from Marondera until you are the place you are now.
Whew, okay, I'm a Christian, but I really like to picture myself as um, I don't affiliate myself to a certain doctrine.
All right.
Yes, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual.
All
I
right.
don't know if it makes sense.
I think what is important is for us to know the values you uphold, you keep.
Okay.
And I believe that these are the instruments which propel individuals forward. They give you strength, they give you direction. And
Mhm.
I believe that our viewers can pick one or two things from what you are going to tell us in relation to the values you have.
All right. Personally, I strongly believe in myself. I
Exactly.
strongly believe in myself because I, from where I was to where I am right now, it was me and maybe God and God, me and God. Sorry, it's not maybe. It was me and God. So I believe in that relationship that I have with God, and the passion and the power and whatever God seeded in me. That's what I believe in.
Exactly.
I know that with that, what God has seeded me, I can never go wrong. You understand? So
Exactly.
whether anyone is going to come with their opinions, whether anyone is going to come with their additions, subtractions, whatever, I start by consulting the inner me, and then we'll come outside.
Exactly.
You understand? That's just
Exactly.
strongly believe in myself. And also I strongly believe in my passion, because one thing that I've learned, innocent, in my journey here in Cyprus, especially here in Cyprus, we face crazy things. It can either be your
Exactly.
landlord, it can either be your boyfriend or a girlfriend, it can either be your housemates or whatever that might just mess you up. But one thing that
Exactly.
has never gone wrong with me is my passion and what I'm working on.
Exactly.
I
And
might
I
say,
like what you are saying
yeah,
because your passion, your values become the true canvas
yes,
of your life. It becomes the
exactly.
canvas which points true north all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
And
Yeah, yeah, true. It becomes your direction now. And everything that has just been going right with me, it has been because of what I have inside. You understand? Whatever was going wrong, it is that, but whatever was going right, it's God and my passion. Yeah.
I see you. All right, Tanya. I have a question there. Let me say, how can somebody, a young person who is living in a very remote place in
Yeah.
Africa,
Yeah.
start to follow their passions without challenging the status quo of the family, or
Yeah.
without contradicting to the norms of the family?
That's very difficult. I don't want to lie, because family, they play a very pivotal role in our lives. But
Exactly.
one thing that I have, personally, I have a very, my family is very private, but there are people who always want things done to perfection as well. You understand? A child goes to school, you attain good grades, and you just do things the perfect way and the very private way. So when you have a family which is composed like that, and when you're Tanya as well, who's on the public eye, it's kind of like a contradiction. But one thing that I personally how I went about it was I I never wanted to go against anyone. By that I mean to say whatever they say, I would say okay, yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's what I'm going to do. You just respect their opinions. You understand? You just respect their
All right.
opinions, but you go your own way. I for me, I think I found liberty when I came here on the island, because that's when I was now starting to start my own NGO, to join these other organizations and everything. But still more, I respect my family. Whatever I'm going to say in the public, I will make sure that when I am in the public, when now I'm in my space, I don't fight any of my family members. You understand? I'm still
Exactly.
I'm still a child, I'm still a granddaughter, I'm still a nephew, I'm still a niece, but I respect them. Whenever, even in the public, before I even post something about my mom, I have to consult my mom. You understand? But now
Exactly.
me and my mom now we have that strong relationship that sometimes I can just post anything. But
Exactly.
concerning her, you understand? But I respect my family, I respect their views, I respect their opinions, but I try as well to go with mine without actually contradicting them. Even when it
Exactly.
comes to culture, yeah.
Tanya, what you have said is very critical. That inside of yourself as a young lady, you have different compartments where you
Yes.
stand as Tanya Razwa,
Yeah.
where you have inside of you a granddaughter, inside of you a
Yeah.
student, inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
a worker, inside of you an employee somewhere, inside
Yeah.
of you a worshiper. Being
Yeah.
able to separate things
Yeah.
and putting them into different categories, a
Yeah.
very, very critical thing. Tanya,
Yeah.
I know that now you are a student outside of Zimbabwe, but
Yes.
at the same time, you are pursuing great things which the world has never seen. Starting companies, sitting in different board meetings,
Yes.
you're bringing out your voice so that it can be heard out there. Talk to
Yes.
me about this, which you are doing.
Well, it's very tough because but one thing that I've learned is you have to be very organized. You have to be very organized. Well, I work with very tough organizations, and one of the organizations that I work with is Universal Youth Movement, which is in Malaysia. And I have a role of being the youth ambassador. So the youth ambassador is like the president now. So I'm like the overviewer of the youth in Zimbabwe, but they usually group them with their universities. So I work with leaders of universities as well. So yeah, it's a very tough role, and my boss, Miss Shireen is always on my neck like this. But I like the relationship that I have with her. She's such a great woman. She's the director of Universal Youth Movement, and also
All right.
yes, and also I'm a global peace ambassador for Global Peace Chain for Zimbabwe. They haven't had much activities there because they're greatly affected by Corona. So things that side is a bit stable. It's not so hectic. And
Yeah.
yes, and I have my own NGO, Development of the Child. Which is like a baby to me. Well, it's now growing, so it's no longer a baby.
Exactly. Can you pause a bit? Because
Yes.
what I was reading is you started development of
The child, yeah.
children in 2017, right?
Yes, we launched in 2017. Yeah.
How was the journey from 2017 up to now?
Woo! It has been one tough journey because even the people that I started with, all of them, it's not the team that I have right now. Yeah, it has been a very tough journey. We had our ups and downs, we have our lows and highs. like any other journey, but I thank God because we even now managed to have a branch in Tanzania, and we're having a girls' conference in Tanzania soon. And in Zimbabwe, we registered. We now have our trust document. And here in North Cyprus, I mean, it's crazy because I even worked with the biggest charity organization here, Cancer Has Salary, and I'm in contact with the founder, Miss Razia, and worked as well with SOS Children's Village. We had football matches with children at SOS. We had them at CIU. And I mean, the crazy part in Cyprus, any external member is not allowed to have contact with the kids. But a foreigner like me had that privilege of being in contact with the children and taking pictures. They allowed us to take pictures and to post even on our social media handles. So it's mind blowing. It's really even
Exactly.
today. I'm still shocked that I had that kind of privilege just because of my passion. So you see how what passion does. It opens
Exactly.
up doors. Yeah.
Passion drives, passion fuels an individual, and it opens gates.
Yeah.
But what I want you to do now is to talk to people who are out there, young people who are in colleges, in institutions.
Yeah.
I know that they are going to benefit something. As you have mentioned that you are a student in a certain college.
Yeah.
You sit down on a chair, you listen to the teacher, but at the same time, when you get off from school, you are entitled to meet up with new, responsibilities, especially those related to the organization work.
Yeah.
And I know that at this point in time, you are also employed in a certain company and you are working.
Yeah.
Talk to me about these things.
Okay, like I said before, that you have to be very organized and prioritize. One thing with university students, no lie, we have so much time. We actually have so much
Exactly.
time. Considering the amount, have you ever noticed that even in high school we had a pegged timetable like this, but now in college it's so small, but we feel like we have less time, but we actually have so much time, and we spend much time weekends. Then, if it wasn't for Corona, you know how it is when it comes to weekends. People go to clubs, people go to whatever small gatherings at home. There are so many activities that students actually do, but now it's now a matter of prioritizing on what matters. What matters in your future. You have to start thinking about your future. What matters in your future? What matters now? What matters tomorrow? What matters on the weekend? Meet those deadlines and stuff.
Exactly.
Like that. And stop wasting time.
Exactly.
And stop wasting time, using your time effectively and efficiently as well. We have so much time, but our priorities and our what we consider important now is different. People make time for
Tanya.
Yeah. Yes.
Tanya, the areas which you have pointed are very critical.
Yes.
Areas of being organized and being efficient, maintaining your sobriety, being safe, and also being an individual who is concerned about their own life. Thinking to the second level, thinking to a minute level, going to a week level, to a monthly level, to a yearly level. And also try by all means to be inclusive, where you can include even your parents, your relatives, to work on their behalf.
Yes.
A responsible individual, a very responsible individual. By that, I think that we are capable of building our nations, our families, our societies. Tanya, it's very, it's very critical, all these things which you have mentioned. Now I want you to tell us the effect or what you have been doing in the society, because you told me that you are working with different organizations And the main aim is to give impact to young people, to the less privileged, to those who are living in the back of beyond. Because we know that there are students, there are young people who are very passionate, but because they are living at the back of beyond, in the rural areas, but they cannot find opportunities. I want you to take me through this.
One thing that you should know, Innocent, that people mistaken a lot is you don't need money to finance your passion. Personally, I started working this year. I tried working in Cyprus. You know how Cyprus jobs are. Even if you earn 50 TL, it won't be enough for you for your food that evening, you understand? But I managed to do big. I managed to travel to Malaysia. I managed to travel to Tanzania. In Tanzania, I donated things. I donated clothes. I donated food. It's a very big orphanage. But that wasn't my money because I don't work. I started working this year. So one thing, Innocent, that I want people to understand is you don't need money. You just need drive and know how to communicate and know the people you should communicate to and with.
Exactly.
And those are the key things. You don't need money. You don't need to stress yourself over money. Stress yourself over polishing your idea.
Exactly. Tanya,
to be something
Tanya, the point which you are raising is very critical.
Yes.
Investing more in communication skills. Especially in this digital, this digital era, where it is possible for you to write a message and it reaches on the other side of the world in a minute or in a second.
Exactly.
Means that we are at a very great advantage where we can utilize this and we communicate.
Yes, and know who to communicate to as well. You don't just talk to anyone or anyone in the street there. Communicate to the right people and communicate with them. By communicating with them, I mean be in constant communication with people. If you see someone who's interested in your idea, try to make a follow-up. Don't start by asking money right there. Communicate. Let him give you something that he thinks, and talk what you think as well. Build a relationship with the right people as well.
Exactly. Relationships. I believe, Tanya, that if we have got a mindset of being patient to build relationship, I think we can generate a capacity of also building institutions, because we know that our institutions, especially back home in Zimbabwe, they are quite broken.
Yes.
From the political institutions, our universities, everything is has cracks. But if we focus on building relationships, having the passion, having the courage, having the audacity to invest in communication, in relationships, I think at the end of the day, we may have a capacity to build institutions.
Yes.
I believe, Tanya, well, let's we are saying all these good things. There is a child who is living the back of beyond in rural areas.
Yes.
Who has passion, who has the drive, but they lack support. What can you say, over this issue?
The same key points that I was mentioning to you even apply to this child you're talking about. Don't look at the environment that you are. If I had concentrated on my environment, I wouldn't be even in Cyprus. I would still be thinking less of myself and thinking of the deepest small college that I could have entered in Zimbabwe, you understand? If I had concentrated on just thinking less about myself. So what I would want to tell that child is, for starters, stop thinking of the environment that you are in. Stop thinking of the circumstances that are surrounded you. Start by developing your personal self. You understand? Start by shifting your mind, a paradigm shift mindset. You understand?
Tanya, you're stressing on a very critical point. I was doing a research. Actually, I'm into medical sciences. I didn't start business, but I was reading this this document, which was done by two guys, Gibson and Tarrant, in 2010. It is a business model which is called the attributional resilience model, where the motive or the main aim of an individual should be surviving regardless of the environment which you are into. Managing to challenge and train the states, managing to challenge the status quo, living, growing outside the circumstance, such that people will say, how did you come outside of this? Exactly. I think this message should be heard loud by people who are living in environments which are not EU or the United States, because everybody thinks that these are the golden places only. So today we are here. I'm here with Tanya. You know, we are so excited, and the morale is quite high. We are just trying to use case studies, what we have to motivate young people who are there. As you know, that the platform which we are broadcasting from is called Survivors, African Millennials. We know that we have got a new era, you know, which is different from the era our fathers and our, you know, older ones lived. So we have to set a new trajectory and to have a new belief system, new lenses of seeing the world. Tanya, as we are wrapping up, I want you to share with the viewers, maybe it's, you know, books, maybe the movies, films, documentaries, which you see or you like to see. You always see each and every day.
Well, if you're a singer, go to the best singers. If you're, personally, I feed on a lot of, Bishop Tudor Bismarck. He is one of the people that I listen to. And if he's ever going to hear this, please know, he has to to know that he has a great follower, Bishop Tudor Bismarck. Yeah, I am, and also my mentor, Dr. Chosim Garidi. I've been reading. I've read all his books actually, and I listen to a lot of people. I listen to opera, and people that are in my field of philanthropic work as well. So I just what I can tell people is, if you're a fish, go for water, don't go for land. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so feed on the right
Tanya,
that you should be feeding on. Yes.
Tanya, it was a pleasure to have you here. And I hope that we are going to meet in the next episodes. Enjoy your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you.
All right.